Okay, this recording is going to go over everything in your week 7 content list because there's a little bit more to this. It's a little different than what we usually do, so I want to make sure I've been really clear about that. So I'm going to start by opening the reflection document itself so that you can see what the differences are that I'm talking about, and then I'll go into the items that require you to go to separate recordings. So for your reading and viewing reflection this week, you're viewing similar to what happened when you looked at the science pieces that I sent recently. You're going to be looking at literacy this time. And again, we're just reminding ourselves that in early childhood, these are kind of odd categories because young children don't really think that way, but we know for our purposes what we're looking at. So this week we'll be focused on literacy items, and then next week we'll be focused on a subcategory of that where we're going to dive into the alphabet specifically. So that will be next in week 8. This week we're going to focus on writing, singing, and in general making marks in terms of writing, in general singing and sounds and phonemes, and then additionally in general how you look at introducing those kinds of things into young children's lives without making it a lesson, so to speak, without you feeling like you're teaching them. So I want to start with you just examining your own experiences with literacy growing up. I am asking you about the alphabet because a lot of people immediately make that association, and you may have grown up in a preschool or kindergarten classroom where letter of the week was something you did, and you brought in items with beginning sounds, that kind of thing. It's good to remember all of that because we're going to challenge all of that this week, and you may already have heard about this in other courses, so it may be a review for you when we dive into it next week. But at least to start, I wanted you to think about that. Think about what your experience was with that, and how was it for you in terms of phonemes and phonetics and sounds that letters represent. And did you learn more than one language growing up? What about singing? Did you sing a lot as a child? Did someone sing with you? Did you sing at school? And how about now? Were you allowed to scribble and make marks as a child so that you were given the freedom to develop naturally, or was it imposed on you pretty quickly to draw and write your name, which is what a lot of preschool experiences involve? And then for number 2, write a few sentences about how you feel about this now as an adult. Do you read for your own pleasure or just for school? I can totally understand that because I have little time to read for pleasure myself, but I try to. And what about writing? How often do you write? Versus type, by the way, because writing and typing are 2 very different cognitive processes in the brain. And I'm talking here about writing by hand specifically. Do you sing? Do you sing now? Do you sing with children? Just anything at all. Listen to my recording about making marks and sounds, which will be a separate recording from this. And then you're going to reflect on those experiences that I have you, I hope you enjoy them. Experiences I have you do that I hope you enjoy. And what kinds of activities that you may or may not see where you are in your placement or workplace. And then in that same document, recording, making marks and sounds, there are several articles. They're not long, but They are extremely beneficial and helpful in terms of what we should be doing with young children in this realm. And there's also a comic book strip that a comic book artist made about children making marks and the significance of it. And it's really powerful. So I'll have you comment on each of those. And then you'll do your usual reading from chapter 2, Honoring the Moment, with Ron Grady. So, and this should be pretty usual. I am not going to have you do the long list of questions and summary this week because you're getting into now getting lesson plans approved and that sort of thing. So these reading, viewing, reflections will be shorter in that sense. So those will disappear now. So no, you are not imagining things. I won't be using those for the rest of the course until the very, very end. I'll ask you to do a summary, but for now, these will disappear because I know you have a little bit of an extra workload with your lesson plans.